Welcome to Investors Insights, episode number 187. Today we will be discussing elections, pension, and your portfolio. And for our video watchers, we invite you to try listening to the same information on our podcast. Many people are discovering they like listening to it while they are driving or exercising. Links can be found to the right of this video. And with that said, let's get started.
You're listening to Investors Insights with Greg Powell and the Portfolio Strategy Team from Five Plan Partners.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Greg.
You guys must have all had a great weekend because you were full steam ahead this morning. I really enjoyed all the data and information. It was great. A lot of things to talk about here. I think, Bobby, in our meeting, you said 21 days.
21 days
November
8th.
Yeah.
21 days.
And so, everybody's watching that in relation to markets. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, so we got two charts to show you this morning. First one is, like Greg said, 21 days until the election. And with Trump's numbers falling, there's a lot of talk that, okay, the Senate and House could switch to the Democrats as well. Yeah. Right now, I think the Senate is a toss-up. And we give about the House going Democrats probably 25%. And so, but one thing I want to show is partisan politics and the effect that it has on the markets. And so if you look at historically going back to 1933, when there's a Democratic president, Democratic Congress, it's the second lowest returns, average returns. And so we'll see that again. We don't think it's going to be that case. We think the Republicans will hold House. Yeah. But there's 21 days left.
Yeah,
so.
and let's emphasize something here. Is that from the standpoint, we're not talking pro-Republican, pro-Democrat. Right. What we're talking about is this is just data we have to deal with and how it can impact the portfolios of our clients.
Yes. Well, also, I'd say it's definitely hasn't been priced in. I think today the market seems to have priced in Hillary Clinton winning the top of the ticket, the Republicans maintaining control of the bottom of the ticket, and so that's kind of the status quo. Yeah. And so we saw with Brexit, when things happen in politicals, it's not priced in, you get increased volatility. Not good, bad, or indifferent, from a personal belief standpoint, but it's the unknown. The drastic unknown could lead to more volatility and then down market.
Yeah, you can have those dips. I mean, the market does not like change.
It's the uncertainty. And another chart I want to show you here is consumer expectations have really taken a hit. We're at the lowest level in 2 years. And we think that's a lot to do with the uncertainty around the election. So
I don't think anyone's terribly happy with the choice they're going to have to make in 22 days.
We're not sure what's going on. So
So that's going to be the main theme as we go forward here. We're going to continue to keep you updated in the vlogs. And then from the standpoint, also keep in mind in July the 10-year Treasury was like at 1.36%. Yeah. It's up at now it's up at 1.8, which means the value has come down on that.
Right. We did a vlog earlier this year about kind of the Goldilocks market where everything. Rates, the Fed fears of GDP growth was all just right to keep interest rates going down, stock market going up. We saw gold prices going up. We saw oil stabilize. Everything seemed to be working perfectly. Now we're getting, the last few weeks are flipping that. That's becoming unraveled a little bit. We're seeing the markets down week over week. We're seeing interest rates up drastically week over week, month over month, especially on the long end. Right. You're seeing gold go down. So every asset class seemingly is going down.
Right.
And what's going up is we're seeing the dollar strengthen drastically. We're seeing oil prices.
Well, and talk about that when you see the dollar strengthen, what does that mean to U.S. products?
That means U.S. products abroad get more expensive. It means it's cheaper for us to buy products from overseas. Right. It makes things that are priced in dollars more expensive.
Right. Well, and the point needs to be made, here shortly we're going to be in 2017 and the holidays are coming up. Consumer confidence may be down. Also from a standpoint, if things are going to cost more, that can impact your portfolio because corporate earnings, which we've seen on the decline, could now start to continue to be on a decline. Am I right on that?
Those multinational companies desperately need, if not a weak dollar, stable dollar.
Right, exactly.
They just need to be able to plan on a currency value.
Right, and then with the Fed talking about possibly raising rates in December, Ashley, that impacts the bond market. But you brought up a really great point, which I think is going to be a theme going into 2017 about pensions. Talk about that just quickly here.
What's going on with the pensions and the fact that they're upside down now? Both, you've got public pensions, state, local, federal government. Then you've got private company pensions. With the low interest rates that we have and the returns that have been flat, they are really upside down now.
Yeah, to be able to pay out.
Their payout. Right. And so what's happening is with a lot of baby boomers that are a huge push in how much consumer spending they do. what's happening is they're looking at their pensions and they're going, oh my gosh, I'm short. So rather than me spending, I'm going to go over here to this other account. I'm going to save more. So what we're noticing is it's becoming really problematic in consumer spending numbers, which depresses markets because these folks are saving more. Normally, we would have counted on them to spend more. Finally, we'll say it's kind of a law of unintended consequences by the Fed. Back in 2008, where they really had to drive the interest rates down. Now, here 8 years later, we're dealing with a big group that's impacted by that.
Right,
and we're not getting the spending up.
Right.
So that's a big group that's not going to be spending what they would have spent.
Yeah, in other words, you got to have spending taking place, people buying products. In turn, as they buy those products, corporate earnings go up. Everybody in agreement with me on that?
Yeah.
And where we've seen corporations improve their earnings, but not to the level that they need to over these past roughly, I'll go 8 years, is because they were cutting costs thanks to technology. Now a lot of that cost cutting is over with, and they just need consumers to start buying products. Agreed?
That's right.
All right, so that kind of lets you know the trend that we're in right now in this fourth quarter. This is a historic fourth quarter. We know you already know that on some levels in terms of elections, but we're looking at the rippling effect outside of that. So we'll keep you updated. Thanks for joining us. And if you feel like this is of value, share it with somebody else. Thanks.